Hello and welcome to Turning On to Preservation. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll pull up my favorite articles of the week and we'll roll right through them. In Wall Township, New Jersey, a decommissioned Army base called Camp Evans remains an untouched piece of history. Really cool that they've recently opened up and they've discovered there's a lot of buildings and these certain huts from World War II that are reminiscent of mid-century style. They're looking at are called Dymaxon development units. They're a collection of rotunda base and metal frame buildings with a dome-shaped head and porthole windows that kind of look like they're from another planet. They're created by the architect R. Buckminster Fuller, and they were kind of designs for wartime housing needs. They're low cost, mass produced, easy to assemble, which is great. So therefore they were distributed to all parts of the world for our U.S. bases. And they actually try to transition from wartime to peacetime and offer them to families as a cheap um, cost-efficient alternative for vacation housing. Unfortunately, the idea never really did take off, but it's still really cool, and this picture shows how. So, this is really cool. There's a mystery that lies beneath the grounds of Seattle. So what had happened is work on an underground highway tunnel was halted when a large object stopped Bertha, the digging machine, from moving forward. A construction worker and contractor believe that it is most likely a boulder left over from the Ice Age. Others have some really fanciful and cool stories. One person thinks that it's possibly an old part of Seattle that is been buried underground when future progress meant filling in the wetlands, and therefore there's some hidden mysteries there. Others believe that it might be buried engines, which is really cool, specifically buried train engines. Either way, this unknown piece of object is definitely really going to be a cool story to follow to see what exactly happens to it. I don't know what it is. What do you think it is? Next up, 100-year-old negatives found in Antarctica. These really cool photos, they're actually specifically 22 unexposed negatives were frozen in a block of ice. They've been found and they are believed to be part of the British explorer Robert Falcon Scott's doomed expedition to the South Pole. He did make it, him and his crew did, but unfortunately they never made it back. It's really cool pictures. Be sure to check out this frozen piece of the past. Next up, love them or hate them. This is an issue that many countries have faced or eventually will face or always continually facing. The question of to preserve or not to preserve the painful or uncomfortable parts of the past. Poland, old communist buildings are starting to be in need of some serious repair and maintenance. Most of them are from the 1970s and 60s and are in a mid-century style. This has kind of led to a debate. Some feel that they are part of an era that kind of should be forgotten, while others feel that they are part of the national heritage and therefore they should be historical landmarks and are very much so worthy of preserving. For example, one of the buildings, it's called the Rotunda Bank Building, with its unusual modern design, was a meeting spot for locals. But its fate, like so many of the other buildings in the area, are kind of hanging in the balance right now. What do you think? Do you think they should be preserved, or do you think they should be part of the forgotten past?
Now it's time for I Bet You Didn't Know. I bet you didn't know back in 1916, New York passed their first zoning resolution, which mandated that buildings have a setback in their design. This was in reaction to the 1915 Equitable building in downtown Manhattan that had such a large footprint and height, it literally darkened the streets below.
Needless to say, New Yorkers were not happy about this. They feared that this would become a common occurrence and that soon they would be living in utter, total darkness. Thus, this law was made as a way to ensure that future buildings did not impede on the individual's right to light and air, thus shaping the New York skyline that you so love and exhibit today. That has been all for Turning On to Preservation. Thank you again for checking out my video. Don't forget to like this, like my Facebook page, and also check me out on turningontopreservation.com and follow me on Twitter at turningontoprez. Once again, thank you guys and have a great day. They do